Manoj Bhargava. You may not be familiar with his name, but there's a good chance you know the product that made him a billionaire.
Grab a sugar-free, vitamin-packed 5-hour energy. It'll get you back to 100% fast.
I'm back.
This college dropout and former monk has a crazy rags to riches story and a truly unique philosophy towards business and life. And if he's successful, his next project might just change the way we live forever. Let me explain. Manoj was born in India and his parents were fairly well off. They had award-winning gardens surrounding their villa and they even had their own servants. But at the age of 14, his dad moved the family to the United States, Philadelphia to be exact. Now, while the family may have been well off by Indian standards, over in America, they ended up living in one of the poorest neighborhoods in the country. Their third floor walk-up apartment cost them $80 a month to rent, and suffice to say, there were no award-winning gardens. So as you can imagine, the adjustment period was tough. There were times where money was so tight that they'd split a can of Coke 4 ways as a treat. But Manoj saw opportunity everywhere. In his own words, quote, "You see stuff or you don't. I just see it." And one of the things that he did see was how a lot of the homes in the worst neighbourhoods were being demolished. The problem was, the construction workers always seemed to leave behind a mess. But where some saw debris, Manoj saw opportunity. So, at the age of 17, he bought a beat-up old dump truck for $400 and started offering his services. He cleaned up demolition sites all summer and ended up with $600. And by the end of the summer, he was even able to sell the dump truck for an extra $400. In 1972, Manoj was accepted into Princeton, but he dropped out after just 1 year. He didn't feel challenged, he felt like he didn't belong. When he returned home to move back in with his parents were definitely not happy. The way they saw it, their son had won a scholarship to one of the most prestigious universities in the country, only to then drop out. They were adamant that Manoj was throwing away a great opportunity. He was squandering his future. Annoyed would be a mild word for my parents' reaction, is how he explained it. What made matters worse was he worked a few odd jobs, but nothing seemed to stick. Nothing felt right. That's when, one day in a book, he read about a Hindu saint who travelled all around India. And he felt inspired. He'd finally found something worthwhile, worth devoting himself to. And that was the beginning of a new chapter in his life. He spent the next 12 years visiting Hindu monasteries in India. He lived in a community of like-minded people, all searching for inner peace. Every day he'd do his chores and he'd spend hours meditating, a practice he continues to do to this very day. And as he reflects, it was those 12 years spent in India and not the time spent at Princeton that was where he got his real education. When he eventually came back to the US in 1996, he took over his family's business, a small plastics company that his parents had founded. By the time he sold it just over a decade later, it had grown into a multi-million-dollar business. After selling the company, Manoj set out to find a new product to sell. Fortunately, he already had an idea brewing. 4 years earlier, he'd come across something intriguing at a natural products trade show in Anaheim, California. It was there where he met some vendors who were selling a 16-ounce energy drink. Manoj tried it and he liked it. It left him feeling great for the next several hours. But when it came to him launching a competitor company, he made one little tweak that, while it may seem like nothing, turned out to be the secret to his billion-dollar empire. Tiny bottles. What led to that brainwave? Well, he asked himself, if I'm tired, does that also mean I'm thirsty? He didn't think so. So he shrunk the bottle, and it's this distinctive small bottle that we still see in stores today. That is how 5-Hour Energy was born. The genius part of the strategy was, with bottles so small, they didn't have to compete for shelf space in the refrigerators, which explains why those tiny red and yellow bottles have become as much a part of the checkout line as gum or beef jerky. Now, as it remains a private company, it's not easy to get a look at the company's numbers, but in 2011 we know they did over $1 billion in retail sales. At $3 a bottle, that's a lot of bottles sold, and it's made Manoj a very rich man. What began began as a product targeted at truckers who needed something to keep them alert on the road, soon found its way into the hands of students, athletes, and all of those people looking for a coffee alternative. But while the success of 5 Hour Energy has surprised many people, it's alarmed others. If you've ever wondered what's in 5 Hour Energy, well, you're not alone.
Now to a big health warning about the popular energy drink 5 Hour Energy.
Tonight, the FDA is looking into reports of more than a dozen people whose deaths might be linked to the 5 Hour Energy drink.
So what is 5 Hour Energy, and is it safe? Let's start with the ingredients. The amount of caffeine is about the same as a cup of coffee. It also includes about 2000% of the recommended daily amount of vitamin B6, not to mention 8000% of the recommended daily amount of vitamin B12. Both are found in animal products and are fundamental to our body's functioning. But at those levels, well, your body's not going to get any extra benefit. In fact, according to health experts, high doses for a prolonged period of time may cause nerve damage, tingling and numbness in the arms and legs. But one of the main problems beyond caffeine is the mix of ingredients. Taurine, tyrosine, phenylalanine, these are just some of the ingredients found in 5 Hour Energy, and worryingly, it's not entirely clear how they react together. You see, phenylalanine in particular poses a danger to people who aren't able to process it properly in their bodies. When that happens, it can cause seizures or convulsions. About 1 in every 15,000 people are affected by this condition. Between 2008 and 2012 alone, the company reported 13 deaths linked to their product. Experts still aren't certain if 5 Hour Energy can be linked to any of those deaths, but it hasn't been good for publicity. And that's not the only publicity problem that Manoj has run into. In 2017, the company got hit with a lawsuit that accused them of running deceptive ads about their product. Those ads cost the company $4.3 million because they were found to have violated the Consumer Protection Act. But Manoj stands by his products. How does he know they're safe? Well, for one thing, he takes it every day and once before his tennis matches, and his adolescent son also takes it daily as well. According to the company, quote, everything in 5 Hour Energy is already contained in foods such as apples, avocados, grains and nuts, or is naturally occurring in your body. Whatever the truth, one thing's for sure, you definitely shouldn't do this.
Hey, so we had this idea a while ago where we wanted to take 5 Hour Energies and drink them every so often.
Now, aside from the controversy, Manoj does seem to be intent on using his wealth for good. He came up with Billions in Change, which is an initiative that focuses on 3 things: electricity, water and agriculture. He believes that by providing these 3 fundamental things to villagers in impoverished areas around the world, it will improve the lives of millions of people. And he's done more than just talk the talk. So far, he's designed a portable generator powered by solar panels, a powerful water filtration device, and a method of agriculture that minimises water use while maximising output. Inside a complex and nondescript building in Farmington, Michigan, Manoj and his team have a workshop dedicated to innovative inventions. The goal is simple: invent stuff that makes a difference in people's lives. And alongside his team of tinkerers, they're attempting to do big things. Their current project? To invent a way to pull unlimited pollution-free energy from the Earth's mantle. Yeah, you know, just ordinary stuff. From 5 Hour Energy to global philanthropy, well, it might seem like Manoj Bhargava's ideas are all over the place. But to Bhargava, they're all similar for one reason: they're useful. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, then you'll definitely want to check out the video about the godfather of glasses. This man single-handedly controls almost all glasses in the world. I'll leave that on screen for you to check out now. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you on the next video.